Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Yggdrasil Roadshow with me, Alexander Lapiniemi. Today, we're going to have a closer look at the April releases. We're going to be talking to Yggdrasil, Sebastian Belton, and the studios in question to see what they have to say about their upcoming games. April is a pretty cool month with a bunch of releases, as well as the Easter Ygg promotion that starts already last of March, 31st of March. It's a price drop promotion, so that is very easy to simply have on your sites. Give it some positioning. It's rewards for the players paid out on the spin. Super good stuff. Easy stuff. Free promo. After April, already in May, we have the next network promo coming up. And with the season, of course, it's time to start fishing as summer is approaching. So we're kicking it off with Fishing Fury. It's a 40K tournament. We're going to have some pretty good games in there. Raptor, Valley of the Gods, Golden Fish Tank, of course, and the brand new, at that time, Nice Catch, which is an Yggdrasil fishing game, as well as Book of Books. So do look out for that. Make sure you are opted in, speak to your account manager about it to make sure you're not missing out on the Fishing Fury. The panel of the day, as mentioned, we're going to have our very own Sebastian Belton. He is going to show us Gig Animals and Devour the Week. Followed by Mark Crocker from ReelPlay. He's going to show us Hyper Respins. And last but definitely not least, we're going to have Frank McPolin from Bang Bang. He's going to talk about Shadow Raiders, a Multimax game. So yeah, that's enough of presentation. Let's get into the content. All right, welcome back to the Roadshow, the old-time superstar Sebastian Belton. How are you doing, my friend?
Hey Alex, great to be here as always. Looking forward to our April lineup. We got a couple of great titles to showcase. Probably the goats for the year. Hoping, never know. We've got some amazing games lined up for later year, but we're really excited about the two we're about to look at.
Awesome stuff. So we're gonna do two games from Sebastian in a row here. So the first one, which is visible here in your background, will be Gig Animals. I'm guessing we're dealing with some kind of animals here, right?
We are, yeah. It's a fun game, which is tongue in cheek, and we always love making some fun games here at Yggdrasil that are easy on the eye and have some fun mechanics and bit tongue in cheek.
Nice, fun and cheeky. Let's get into the gameplay.
Excellent. So welcome everyone to Giga Animals, Giga Blocks. As you can see, as mentioned to Alex momentarily, that is a really fun looking game. We've got these little animals on the left that are kind of like the animals in UFOs. It's really fun. You can see here the little, it's a collections based game, so we can see all of the low paying symbols. When you get win lines, they will be distributed into those corresponding collection points. What you want to do is fill up these collection points. We're getting the collection multiplier here, which will give you a multiplier based on these. You can see there we normally get 1 point. We got 2 points on those win lines because of the collections multiplier. What you want to do is maximize out one of these collections to get access to free spins mode. You will hopefully we will see that when you get the collections maxed out, you get those free spins, and then you get also whichever the collections gets to maximize, you will get a continuous wild during that. You can also access the free spins via the scatters as well, but obviously you start into the free spins there without that collections bonus modifier. So you can see here we're going to actually hit the scatters bonus. You need a minimum of 5 of these. We're going to absolutely overkill here. Any additional bonus icon will give you additional free spins. We get the 19 free spins. You can see that we have not maxed out the collections. The collections will stay persistent there outside, but during the free spins you have a new amount. You can see we only need 16 of those win lines. You can see here everything at the win line. We get the purples. We get 6 points here. We'll go straight in there. Now we want to get those added up over to 16. Once they do so, as I mentioned, you will get a permanent wild on that low-paying symbol. So you can see we've got a couple going here already. We've got the greens close to completion. We're about approaching halfway on the blues there. So we got a lot of free spins though, so we can probably amount to see at least a couple of multipliers here. We're getting very close with green. The idea here is obviously hopefully you want to get all 4 of the collections during the free spins module to the maximum value, giving all low-paying symbols those wilds that you want to get. Obviously the connections for the high-paying symbols that will generate huge potential winnings, and that's really the name of the game here. You can see we're getting very close to maxing out a few here. We're going into the red now where we had very few. We want to really see the greens here. I think that might be enough to push over the edge. Yep, so the green will now flow over there to the right, the little sheep, and we get now additional 2 free spins as well per collection completed to top up the free spins. But now you'll notice that the green wilds will now, greens will all low-paying symbols will always appear as wilds, which obviously will help further the other collections because those will facilitate the other ones. So you can see here we've now added the blues in, 2 additional free spins. So we've got 2 collections maxed out, and you can see now the wins now are starting to really pay dividends. And that's where the volatility of the game and the sort of the really good engagement tool for the cycle of the mechanics. You can see there a really pretty decent win there. And yeah, so we're really excited for this one. Obviously, the Gigablocks aspect of it as well from our own gems, really helping to bring the whole game together in an exhilarating experience for our customers. There are some other aspects. They do have a random wild that can be activated. So there is that aspect. Well, you can see this is a collections wild bonus. So when you maximize out the collections, as mentioned, you'll get the free spins module automatically without needing to collect those scatter wilds. So this is an instant activation into the free spins, and you will start off straight away with that. You can see the wild maxed out. Also, the persistence as well of the collections outside of the free spins will remain there. So when you come back out of free spins, all of your modules will still be where they left them before you went in. Except for the one that if you went into the free spins module through a collections, that is. So wild surge is the last thing to mention, which is random wilds that will come for the spin. It's like a little mini bonus. It will activate and create the wilds for the corresponding low paying symbols, and you'll get paid out accordingly for that. So that's nice, helps generate the collections as well. Thanks for watching.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for that presentation, Seb. And like definitely, as you said, very cheeky and fun. I mean, these animals, yeah, they got some shenanigans going for sure. I mean, look at that, the pig. That's my favorite.
Alex, like I was speaking to the producers about this, and the backstory for the characters is really quite one. They wanted to do a spin-off of the human beings being abducted by aliens wasn't apparently interesting enough, so they wanted them to abduct our animals on the planet instead. So these are an alien abduction of our sort of most well-known animals, sheep, pigs, and chickens and stuff. So they're all like very characteristic, of what to expect from those guys, and just they've made them, cartoonified them, and turned them into amusement factor. So
they're very into whatever we can expect from these guys. Really like that's a good comment there. But okay, so I mean, this theme is obviously quite original, I would say. I mean, animals in space and spaceships. Like it's also a bit of a play on words here with the gig animals, with the giga blocks. So I feel like there's been some thought put in here, when it comes to the game creation here. So on the one hand, you have the Giga Blocks mechanic. I believe, I have a guess, maybe that's where it started. You wanted to create the Giga Blocks game, and you maybe created something out of it. But could you walk us through the process of creating this game when it comes to these things, the mechanic and the theme specifically?
Sure, no problem. I mean, as you guys probably are aware, if you're familiar with our Vikings selection, that the collections is a big part of Yggdrasil image. A lot of people are familiar with the collections from our Vikings game, so we really took the best part of that, the collection space, and we put it together with a Gigalox program and a bit of craziness for the theme. I mean, really, it's a melting pot of just ideas and a culmination of a lot of hard work. And it's been put together in a process that's we feel is good for the markets. We think it's got a wide penetration potential with a wide variety of customers from like a hard edge casino that's maybe in sportsbook right down to a more soft bingo player. The volatility is there, as I mentioned. So there is that aspect of the mechanics. But as you can see, there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of ways, a lot of routes to the free spins. There's two separate routes, which is nice for the customer, gives them a bit of options when they're playing. If you can't get the collections up to scratch, you've always got the chance of triggering the scatters bonus. So those two individual ways to the game is really good. You've got a buy bonus as well, not to forget about that as well, with 3 different options.
All roads lead to Rome, so to say. So just spin away and you're sure to be on your way. That's a nice line. Moving on from the you touched down briefly on it, but I want to talk a little bit about the math here. So behind the theme, behind these mechanics, we of course have a math model, and when we consider the player journey here from open the game, you start playing a few spins. Could you walk us through kind of the journey here in terms of potential and sort of how they, what you can expect from a session from a player perspective?
Sure. I mean, as you saw during the presentation on the demo there, that there's a lot of variety for the customers. The collections will be there, whether you could come in and play a session. If you're busy and you've only can play for 30 minutes and you went, I really like this, but I haven't got time right now. You could come back later that evening or even the next week, and those collections will be exactly where you left them. Also, when you go into those free spins, when you do get a free spins, you can still come back and you could, for instance, you could trigger one collection. You could then have the free spins from that and get the winnings, come back, and then you could immediately complete one of the other collections and then go back into free spins again. So it's kind of like a nice chain effort for the commitment from the customer to enjoy our slot game, and they can technically sort of chain those bonus rounds together. So it's a very interactive and engaging slot game.
Yeah, I mean that's super duper cool. So I really like that there's multiple things that's happening, multiple ways to go, and even if you have a short session time and we're this game is more on the highly volatile side, and I believe the feature hit frequency might not be something like a starburst, but you will still have something because there's a lot of things happening, right? So I really think that it's something that caters for any session time here. And also with the collections, you get the kind of the sense that you're being rewarded for coming back and you can continue your journey, which is always a nice touch. So that's super cool. But okay, so we talked about the theme, we talked about the mechanics, we talked about the math, kind of the feel, the player journey here. But let's talk about well, let's ask the $1 million question here then. Who is this game for?
That's a good question, and without an easy answer, I would say, because I think, as I mentioned earlier, the demographic for this is really an unknown quantity, because it's, as you said, it's an original title. Obviously, we have the Gigablocks mechanics, so it's going to appeal to anyone that's fan of our Gigablocks gem. Without, obviously, anyone that plays our Gigablocks games will definitely play this. However, it is a departure from what I would say the traditional, but in a good way, in a way that I feel that it's more diversive. So I don't really want a blanket statement, say it's for one particular type. Sometimes I would do that if it was a very high volatility, very specific mechanic with a very tough theme that's aimed at particular types of markets. But this one has, in my opinion, is right on the line. It's not cutesy enough to be a soft profile slot, but it's not aggressively hard to be aimed at sort of the directly just casino only. It's kind of like walks very very carefully down the middle, so it has a good wide range potential. So I would say, obviously, a younger audience probably more likely, you know, to 20 to sort of 40 range. But yeah, like really, it's really what I would say, if I have in my professional opinion, is going to be quite wide ranging. So I'm looking forward to seeing how well it performs on release.
Yeah, I don't think there's a clear-cut demographic for a game like this. I mean, obviously, like, you know, people that enjoy collections, that enjoy features, that enjoy specifically the Gigabox one will be attracted to it. But I think people that has a bit of a funny mind, because obviously you see the thumbnail in a casino, it's going to be a funny thumbnail. Like, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a bit silly. So I think maybe these players, you know, for example, when I enter a casino lobby, if there's a bull in the thumbnail, I'll click it because I love any kind of Taurus, you know, bull kind of games. I love that stuff. So if anyone comes in with a bit of a funny mind, they're gonna click this because it's gonna look amazing in the lobbies
Yeah,
between
I know
the
the feeling.
Egyptian, you know, Greek fishing games, what have you, and then we have this one popping up that's a bit funny. So I really think
Yeah, I
so.
think it'll pique a lot of people's interest. I think just because it is a little bit out of the ordinary. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's. I'm looking forward to see how well it does.
Yeah, but okay, so the last one here then, you mentioned it as well previously, but can you go through the different ways of betting, like what different bonus buys do we have in the game? Is there any golden
Uh,
bet or anything like
so
that?
yeah, Alex, as I mentioned, there's three different types of bonus buy. There's a 75x in your stake, a 150x on your stake, or a 250x on your stake. The variance is mainly in the free spins and also the collection bonuses that you can get from it. So there's obviously you know, free spins, and then the guaranteed 24 free spins is the second module, and the third module is with the collections as well. So it's really quite an unusual setup in terms of the multiplier on the stake, but yeah, it still provides a really good free spins opportunity for the customers that wish to engage in the buy bonus option.
Cool, awesome stuff. Well, I'll let those be the closing words. Different ways to bet, many ways to roam, etc. Thank you so much for the gig animals, and let's have a look at the next game,
Yeah,
Devour the
let's jump
Week.
in. Right, we're going to jump straight into the next game then. So yeah, let's do that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Devour the Week, our flagship title for April. As you can see here, it is an avalanche-based slot game, and there's a lot of mechanics going on here, which I will get to. You can see that the Devour system is when you get a win line, you will get, on the bottom left, you can see that there's 6 slots. Every time you get a win, you also devour a certain amount of icons, and those will be included in the bottom left, and it will go up incrementally in the multiplier every time you get 6 of those symbols done. That's the main premise of the game. Obviously, you can see this guy over here collecting symbols with the hand. That is the mechanic for the free spins module. You need to get them in unison, you know, in one after the other. For them cascades. Once the cascade ends, obviously all of these are reset. In this particular instance, you can see we're getting a really good cascade win. That reset now, and we didn't reach the number, so these are all now reset. But it works similarly to Double Max in that respect. It has that Double Max feature to it. It's not a Double Max game, I might like to add, but it does have, it brings some elements of that. Obviously the Avalanche system, very similar. But the Devour system is wholly unique. There's nothing else out there in the market with it. As also you can tell by the excellent music in this game as well, there is nothing probably out there that's got a similar kind of quality of metal music that you can hear in this. It's honestly astonishingly good. So yeah, really impressed with that. You see here over there, we're collecting these orbs. And we've got 5 at the moment, hoping that we will get the 6th, and we can see with the 6th there, that will enter us into the free spins. And any additional orbs in there are added into the free spins as additional free spins. So I said you need to get 6 minimum. So it will finish the cascade first, and then you'll get corresponding free spins. So we're heading in there with 10 free spins. You can see that was a cool little demon animation there with the orbs inside. You can see here during the multiplier, we will start off at the base level of 6. It should reset to that at the beginning, at the end. But yeah, the free spins module has like a preset multiplier, so that's really the benefit there, to only go back to the 6x, so you can qualify for a much potentially bigger multipliers. The max multiplier on this is 666. In the true style of the game, it definitely is cool that the mathematicians thought this through and decided to throw that in as a little Easter egg to homage to the stylistic of the game. So yeah, we can see here we're doing quite well on the devouring here. We've got a 8x here. We continue to win, but the premise of this is obviously to get as many of the multipliers going by getting those devour links going. With those, you can expect to see huge wins popping off from those, and that's really the main experience of the game. To obviously collect the orbs in the base. And you see over there we've got a +1, that's the free spins module. You only get that during the free spins game, so that is really what you're aiming to try and keep the free spins up and running to continue these multipliers. And we're starting to get into the bigger numbers now. Unfortunately we just lost the chain, so we return back to the 6x. Now this game obviously has a buy bonus module, which has an interesting buy bonus. There is one, obviously the standard buy bonus, which is similar to this, but you also have, I think it's 500x, which you can only get through the buy bonus, which gives you a huge potential win for that one by giving you a very, very high starting point for the multiplier. Thanks for watching.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for that presentation. And oh my God, what a game. I mean, being a metalhead myself, I mean, this is something, truly in my taste. Pedal to the metal, 666 multiplier, Demons and Beasts. I mean, this is an amazing game through and through, in my opinion. And so, like, I need to know. I really, really want to know about the theme. So obviously, it's a metal theme, right? But can you tell us a bit more on, how did this game come to be this metal? Like, what? Tell me now. Need to know.
Well, I mean, as I said, like it's a very, very, very thematic game based on demons, and we've got to have the metal in there. I mean, it's done exceptionally well. It's a really a great effort by the Arky Studio guys that have done the sound for this. The metal quality is on par with studio quality that you would hear from some popular metal artists. So they've done a great job on implementing that and really, really bringing the life to the kind of game that Devour the Week is aiming to be. And we've put together with it from our excellent creative and product teams superb mechanics that help facilitate that experience. The Devour experience mechanic is really cool. It really adds a lot of excitement to the game, and along with the music and the atmosphere, just it's just a great package all in one.
Brings it all together under the number of the base 666. I'm loving it, man. This is a really cool game. Do you actually know? Like, I think we are doing the music ourselves here, right? Like, we have someone or some people, or where does the soundtrack comes from? Because the soundtrack is very, very heavy and it is very good. Do we have a metal band in the house, or where does this music come from?
Well, I mean, the music is done by through our own contacts here in Yggdrasil. The details obviously is handled from internally, but yeah, it's our IP. It's the music is developed and created for the game. So we're very proud of it, and we're excited to see what the customers think of this style.
Yeah,
We've gone
so
all
I
out.
think what I'm hearing is the answer is yes. Yggdrasil has an in-house metal band that's always playing in the office somewhere, and we
Yeah,
just
was it?
this
We
is
were
just a
just sitting here.
sample.
We were just sitting here, just creating some metal music, Alex. That's what we got down there, and we had a couple of the top guys. Slayer came down to see us and gave us a few tips, and that's how we got it down.
Excellent stuff. That's the truth as I heard it. Awesome stuff. Let's leave the theme for a little bit, even though I can't let go of the theme because I think it's so good. But let's talk about the math and kind of the feel of the game. So if you can walk us through the potential of the game from kind of a player journey perspective, that would be awesome.
Sure. Well, as you know from the demo I was showing, the experience on this is quite similar to Double Max. I wouldn't say it's the same experience, but the volatility is very, very high. So, again, Yggdrasil, we pride ourselves on good high volatile games. We do them. I think some of the best in the market. I'm not just being biased on that. I actually genuinely think that we do some of the best high volatility games on the market. And Devour the Week's a really good example of that, actually, in action with a unique mechanic. We've taken the inspiration from the Double Max Avalanche system. We've thrown in an excellent theme, but as you said, from the mechanic side, the Devour aspect is the real experience buster for people playing it, and we hope that when they play it, they'll be like, oh, it's a really unique experience. And we're all about the unique journeys for customers. We want to really create a unique experience that cannot be found anywhere else in the industry. So Devour the Week is a pioneering slot in that respect, and yeah, we don't do half measures, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're a big fan of the metal theme, and there might be some people out there that may not feel the same way. If you're not agreeable on that aspect, respect to those people that are like that, but we've gone all out on it. We're not going to do a half measure. So yeah, everyone that wants to get on board with this and enjoy the experience, we're really excited for it.
Yeah, definitely. Like this transitions perfectly into the next question, which is who is this game for? And I mean the answer is quite clear here. It is for people that enjoy the theme, which would be, people that are, metal consumers, or people that have a bit of a darker side, maybe a little demon,
Fiery. Let's
a
use the word fire.
fiery side, a spicy side inside, and maybe you're a little bit angry because you feel that you're undervalued, or you feel like you deserve more. You want some power in your life. Boom, you hit this game and you're in the right mindset. So definitely on the heavier side here. If you like clouds, if you like hearts, pink rainbows, or whatever, this game is probably not for you. But kind of
Pink
goes without
rainbows,
saying.
indeed. Yes. If you're looking for sort of cuddly, fluffy stuff,
Gig Animals might be a good game for you.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's the segue there. If you don't like this, there's Gig Animals.
We have two very different games to talk about today. One is about pink rainbows, and the other one's about hell. It's we don't do half
Absolutely.
measures. It's all the way in one direction or all the way in the other direction. I like that.
Absolutely. No need to mince the words here. Like Devour the Week is what it is, and it does it very well.
Yes.
And I think even though in all seriousness, there will be people that will play this just because it's excellent on its own standalone. Worst case scenario, if you don't like the metal, there's always the mute button. You can listen to your Spotify playlist, or whatever it is that you
sure.
can listen to on there. So there's always that option. The mechanics speak for themselves, and you saw there in the video, very strong experience, just in experience wise. So people will play this even if it's not their jam. And for those people that like a bit of the metal, like you, Alex, and myself included, I include that. I really enjoyed listening to music on this. It's there for consumption.
For people like me, the mechanic doesn't even matter. It's just press the spin button and have a good time. Let's wrap up with different ways of betting here. So what options do we have?
So as I mentioned, briefly, the options are two options. There's the base section, which is 100x, which will give you a random amount of free spins and a starting modifier pretty similar to what we saw at the 6x. And then the other one is the 500x with a 33x starting modifier. But that's only in buy bonus. You cannot get that through the base game. So very simple, in a non-bad way. So very accessible. Very people that want to have the big high volatility bonus buy, it's there for them. If you want to just have a little bonus buy at the standard sort of 100x area, you want to get in that bonus and see what you can get, that's available as well. So really probably just the two sweet spots there for the big players that want to go all in, and the people that want to just have a little shot at the bonus buy.
Awesome stuff. Thank you for that, Seb.
You're welcome.
I'll let those be the closing words. So we're gonna move on to the next speaker of the day, and I'm sure I'll see you soon again, Seb.
Indeed. Until next time, Alex.
Until next time, have a good one.
Bye bye.
Welcome back to the Roadshow. Mark Crocker from ReelPlay. Second time on the Roadshow. You have the second speaker of the day, and it's the third game we're going to have a look at. Welcome back, man.
Hi, nice to see you again, Alex.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So we got a game here with a wide appeal, and you let me know that this is something that can, for us that played a lot of Nintendo back in the days, this is something that could potentially appeal to us. So I am looking forward to see what you got for us. Let's get to it.
Yeah, cool. So, really excited to introduce ReelPlay's latest offering to the market. It's called Hyper Respins. It's got very unique gameplay, a really new, crisp kind of look to it, but it's got that familiar feel that I mentioned to Alex about, casual gamers and people who play console games. So I'll get right into the video and start talking a little bit about the game. So Hyper Respins, it's a space gem theme. It's a 6x6 real layout, and basically the way the game works is that if 5 or more adjacent symbols pay, they explode and new symbols drop in. At ReelPlay, we've sort of looked at this game and decided that we wanted to go for a really clean and crisp look, that familiar feel. It's got a classic feel to it. Anybody who played console games or lots of mobile games would be very, very interested in playing this game. And there's also a little bit of a nod to one of our old games that we have in the catalog of Hypernova in that sci-fi feel. But the big differentiator with this game, as you probably see popping off on the screen, is that the game has hyper symbols. So we have the sort of standard wild and scatter and the gem symbols, but what we're really looking at to excite this game is the 6 hyper symbols. What they do is when they land on screen, they perform sort of special effects on the symbols. They double scatter prizes, and you can get a horizontal, vertical, or mega zap, which zaps the symbols up and down or left to right in a line. Doubles again, as I said, the scatter prizes. There's also bombs, mega bombs, or hyper bombs. A bomb will be a 3x3 square explosion, mega bomb 5x5, and a hyper bomb will explode the whole screen. And as you can see again, these aren't just in the base game. Part of the big appeal of this game is that they're available in the bonus game, the bonus respins. So 5 scatters start the bonus respins. You get a 3 respin count to begin with. Every new scatter that you land will restart that count again. But what you're looking to get is these really cool hyper symbols landing on the screen. And the goal for the player and the enjoyment in the game is that you're trying to fill this whole screen with scatter prizes, trying to keep resetting that respin count and hoping that you land, the coolest kind of effects and hyper symbols in the feature. So, the goal for players to keep building on your wins. Wins become more exponential. You're hoping to land obviously like hyper bombs and bombs as the screen fills up, and it kind of really builds that anticipation as you go through the feature. So wins kind of grow exponentially, and we're looking for that players who sort of really enjoy being in the feature, chasing features, and as well you get a little bit of that in the base game. We put a lot of as we always do, a lot of focus on the visuals and the audio. This game kind of feels really exciting to me. It's a game that I think everybody in the ReelPlay office have definitely enjoyed playing, and we're really looking forward to this one coming out on Yggdrasil platform and being available to all the players out there that know ReelPlay content. That's probably about all I need to say about what's showing up on the screen and in the video, and we can really excited to get this one out there and into the hands of the players.
Yeah, thank you for that presentation. Like very short, concise, like straight to the point. I mean, even the name would suggest kind of what it's all about. Hyper respins. It's already there. We can already kind of imagine what it's going to be. But okay, so let's break down a little bit what you were just talking about and iterate some points here. So when it comes to how the game came to be, so obviously you have a very kind of specific theme, and I mean the mechanics there already in the name with the respins, right? So what came first here? How did how did this game come to be? Was it the mechanic or was it the theme?
Yeah,
came first?
Yeah, I definitely think it was the mechanic of the game first. So we had some ideas internally about, what we wanted to do with these booster symbols or hyper symbols. So that came first. The design came out. It's like, what could we do with this? What could be pretty cool? And then the artwork, we sort of always developing different types of artwork all the time. But with this sort of game, it's a fairly new feature to the market. It's very innovative in what it is. So because of that, we wanted to go with something that's a much more comfortable feel for the player. And we're all big gamers in the ReelPlay office. We all love playing console games and computer games. And, this is a game that I think if we rewind, without revealing too much of our age, if we rewind maybe 10 to 15 years or maybe even more, it's got that feel about it that, we're all very, very familiar with. And it's something that came after the fact. And the name probably came last. We were struggling a bit for the name. We knew it was a Space Jam theme, so we knew Respins were in the game. And then, being the creators of Hypernova, we kind of went, hey, why don't we just? It's got that feel about it too, so why don't we name it a Hyper Respins?
Yeah, it's got the respins and definitely have the hyper kind of feel. So why not? So that's interesting. So you actually had the mechanic firsthand that you were working on, and then came the theme, and then you kind of took a look at it, like just took a step back from your creation and said, okay, what do we call this beast? And then you came up with the name. For me, that makes a lot of sense. Like I think that's super duper cool, because obviously, depending on how the game plays in terms of mechanics, you might want to go with different themes to kind of set the mood, or
that's right.
I think you mentioned several times you want to create a familiar environment for the player. I think that's
right.
cool. Yeah, and then you finish up with the name there to put an exclamation mark to it all. That's super cool. Let's talk a little bit about the math, kind of the feel of the game. And you had a good, you mentioned the player kind of journey in the game and what the player is looking for. If you could take that part again and like focus a little bit on the math and potential.
Sure thing. Yeah, so I think this game it's got a sort of medium to high volatility. And a lot of, I think, what makes the game exciting is in the feature, but the nice thing about it is that because of the hyper symbols, you do get that feel in the base game as well. So we have the feature hits maybe one every 200 spins. You can actually buy the bonus too if you want to have a bit of a shortcut and get to play the game, play the respins. But a lot of this game is really about those respins, hence the name, and those symbols. So yeah, the player journey is, I think, this game suits players who really like sort of chasing features and players who want to sort of build wins. So as you're sitting through the respins, you're watching your wins go up and you're trying to learn that extra scatter, and it's kind of just, the exciting part is just building upon that win and hoping that you get, real big boosters in there to get you a big win. So it's got that sort of feel about it, and that journey that the player can go through is really about feature chasing. So.
Yeah, excellent stuff. And you answered the next question as well that I had there, which would be the player demographic. But I believe you already covered that very nicely.
Yeah, we definitely. Yeah, definitely with the artwork and the soundtrack and the way it appears is that we're looking to. It doesn't really appeal to one demographic over another. It's got a wide appeal in terms of the theme and the gameplay. So yeah, not sort of single out a masculine or feminine feel. This game's for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is the kind of game you could put it in front of any kind of player, slot player, any player really, and they will kind of understand what the objective is, and they will be able to get the thrill quite easily from just pressing that spin button, and everybody is kind of already conditioned into, okay, we played similar games, we've been in a similar kind of setting, and we know what's going to go down here. So I think that's a smart way of putting it. It's not for anyone in particular, but this appeals to a very wide audience. Okay, Mark, thank you so much for that. Very short and concise. I think this game is straight to the point, and so are we here in the Roadshow. So thank you so much once again for joining us here, and I hope to see you very soon again.
Cheers. Thanks, Alex.
Have a good one.
You too. Yeah.
Okay, and welcome back to the Roadshow again, Frank McPolin from Bang Bang. It's time for another banging release. So really looking forward to seeing what you got for us today, man.
Thanks, Alex. Good to be here again. Enjoy our little quarterly chats.
Yep.
So this time round, we've got Shadow Raiders, which is a multi-max game. Absolutely buzzing about this game. I think aesthetically, it's probably one of the best games that we've done to date. The guys in the studio there have done an amazing job on it. And of course, you know, with that incredible multi-max mechanic of yours, I got really good high hopes for this one. It just absolutely can't fail, can it?
Nope,
So,
it sounds pretty good. It's a big statement. It's the best thing you've done. I like it.
I think so. Honestly, the attention to detail,
strong.
the theme, the way that we've got the little twist on multi-max working, I think it's all come together really brilliantly. So look, you know, but let's have the game do the talking, shall we? Shadow Raiders multi-max. You can see here that we've got sort of quite a grimy sort of piratey theme. It's got the multi-max is the core mechanic behind the game, but the little twist that we've got on it is we've got some mystery symbols, and those mystery symbols can be either normal symbols or they can reveal as cash prizes. So if we come into the game here, we'll have a few spins to get going, but you can see we've got lots of nice background effects going on. We've got the pirate flag, and here we are in sort of, you know, the pirate cove, if you like. You know, all the top symbols are the Shadow Raiders gang. So it's like, you know, the undead pirate crew who are out raiding for treasure. So yeah, we can see there we've got bonus symbols. As is standard, three or more of those bonus symbols are going to win us free spins. And here we can see the multi-max effect kicking in, which, like I say, you know, it's based very heavily around the math profile of multi-fly, which we're obviously big fans of, and I know it's super successful for you guys. So the base game hit rate is, you know, a little bit tight, as is the way of multi-max. But of course, you know, it does mean that the volatility is quite high. But let me show you some of these mystery symbols now. And so they'll just come in as part of the multi-max flow. So, like, you know, you need at least one cascade to start getting that. Here we can see we revealed a full grid of 9, which is anything that with 5 of a kind of, it's always going to be good. So, you know, we hit that multi-max there for the big win. So, you know, the mystery symbols can drop in on any spin. Just so happens we've got 2 in a row with this particular cheat that we've forced it with here. But again, look at that, nearly a whole grid of high symbols there with 2 multi-max. That's going to be a big juicy one. You know, we've got some character in the big wins here. We haven't just gone for big, super, mega, epic. We've tried to give them little funny pirate themes, which I think's worked out quite nicely. Yeah, generally, you know, it all comes together with the theme quite nicely. So let me show you the cash version of that now. And the cash values are also subject to multi-max. So anything that lands gets multiplied by the value above it. So you can see there that £4 turned to 8, and we're just going to collect all those cash values. And yeah, and then, you know, the cascades will just keep going until there's no more wins like normal. So the game features a few different ways to play. So we've got the bonus boost, which is our equivalent of the anti-bet. That's just going to put on some more bonus symbols to help us halve the hit rate for free spins, which is quite a good thing. We've also got bonus boosts. We've got 2 bonus boosts. One will just buy you the normal 8 free spins. This is what you would win naturally. And if you have gamble available in your jurisdiction, then you know, you can gamble those. We'll choose those for now. The other one is like a mega free spins, which will win you essentially 14, which is the most you can gamble up to. So unfortunately, not a lucky day on the gambles. So we'll try that again. and we'll just collect the free spins this time, so we can get in and have a look at them. So free spins in this game, we move from the pirate base into the captain's room. We've got some nice little effects there with the little candles going and all that sort of thing. So like I say, 8 free spins is the standard. We are burning through them pretty quickly here so far, with not too much luck. Let's see what happens here. Oh, that's going to help. So yes, we've got good. Well, this is kind of the nature of multi-max in a way, isn't it? Is that, you know, in free spins, what the player looks for there is you to build up that multiplier through the free spins in order to really nail the last couple of spins. So that's going to be pretty good as well. So really, these last couple of spins here have saved us on this particular game round. But you know, that's it. That's a high volatility game for you. So you know, we're sitting there. I mean, you know, the max win on this game is 15,000x. We've capped it, so you know it is achievable. There's plenty of big win potential here, and you know, I've had free spin sessions there where all the bases are loaded on those skull multipliers there, and you're going for it. Of course, you know, you get 14 free spins, and that has progressively bigger effect, doesn't it? So you know, the potential is there. So look, that's the game in a nutshell. Really hope you guys enjoy it. Like I say, it's the multi-max mechanic itself is an absolute beauty, really, but it's very hard to work with. So we were trying to figure out, you know, what hasn't been done before, what's going to work really nicely with it, and those mystery symbols, I think, have made for a really good game.
Yeah, thank you so much for that presentation. And I gotta say straight off the bat, like the theme, I think is really, really good. Like it's a pirate theme, but it's not a pirate theme. You know what I mean? Like it's just not it's not just another pirate theme, because it's like this kind of zombie, this a bit horror movie, old school kind of you know, twang to it, which I think really, really helps it pop.
Well, that's exactly it. And, you know, we haven't got a pirate game in the portfolio so far. So it was something that I've wanted to do for a while. But as you rightly say, you know, does the world really need another sort of, you know, cutesy Jolly Roger pirate game? You know, I didn't want to go down that route. So, you know, we know that pirate themes resonate with players, and that's why we wanted one in the portfolio. But we also know that in order to give a game some character, make it stand out from the crowd a little bit, you know, you've got to put a little twist on it.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
You know, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I'm not by any means claiming this is the first zombie pirate game ever to be invented, but you know, we worked hard on the characters, we worked hard on the environment, and we wanted to come up with a game that just is sort of sticks in a player's mind, and I think we've done that.
Yeah, definitely. Like from everything from the scouts in the top with multipliers, I think just everything comes together quite nicely with the theme. But I gotta ask on that note, like, so what came first here? Did you already decide you're gonna make this kind of themed game, or did you decide on which kind of features you wanted? Like, where did the development start?
Well, as is always the case with our games, they always start with the mechanic and you know, sort of a very, very basic prototype. And you know, our prototypes, you know, you've got to be really plugged into the matrix to get a good feel for them, because they're all sort of just text based with, you know, they run in a very simple way. But the beauty of it is, exactly, it's just like that. But the beauty of it is that, you know, that if you get sort of a good, exciting feeling from a game that has got no graphics and is just like, you know, letters and numbers coming down the screen, that you've got good potential. And of course, you know, I know that you guys, you know, want us to work a lot with the gems, and that's great. You know, multi-max is one that hasn't been used too much so far, which is amazing, because it is a really strong mechanic. So yeah, you know, the first part was, okay, we want to do a multi-max game. Second part was, what can we do with multi-max to just essentially not make multi-fly v2? And you know, I've got to say, you know, as much as I love your gems, a lot of them are quite hard to work with mathematically, because the core mechanics are quite expensive on their own in terms of trying to make the game balanced and trying to put a little tweak on them and trying to still hit the right RTP. So, you know, you haven't got a huge scope for you know, absolutely ripping it apart and layering 5 different features over the top of it, because it just doesn't work. But you know, once we had the idea of wanting to introduce cash prizes is really where it came from. And then it kind of evolved from there. Well, if we can do cash prizes, can we do mystery symbols? And then it all kind of worked together, and we got to the prototype we like. And of course, once you're talking about mystery symbols, the gap in our portfolio for a pirate game with mystery symbols, I mean, originally they were going to be sort of pirate chests or whatever that were going to open and just reveal cash. But then as soon as we started bringing in the other symbols to it, which I think was a great idea, because, you know, like we've seen there, you get a good grid of high symbols, and you get a real punchy win out of that with the multi-max.
Yeah.
Once we started seeing that, you know, it made sense for it to be bombs, and then the pirate zombies kind of fell out of that. So it's kind of an evolution, like all games are, but it always starts with that prototype that we can get excited about.
Yeah, I think that's very good, and I gotta say, I'm getting images in my head now of you sitting in front of like 8 monitors, and all you have is kind of the matrix letters coming down, and you're sitting there like, yes, this is it.
That is exactly
the one.
it.
I am excited, and this is only numbers and letters and stuff on a screen.
This is the one. Delete the others. This one goes through. So yeah,
this is the
very
one.
much like that.
But I think that's super important what you mentioned there. You know, from a game development perspective, to actually be flexible in the process. So like you come a certain way, you have an idea, and you realize, you know, maybe we do it this way instead. You know, instead of having the treasure chest, we have these other symbols. I think that's very, very important, and I think that's something that really, really shows in the games that there's been thought put into it, so that everything comes together.
Exactly. It's the beauty of working like, you know, in a relatively small team at a relatively small company, and of course, you know, being the person with whom the decision finally ends, you know, which also has its benefits. But because you can sort of say, you know, this is a great game. Why don't we try that? Why don't we try that? I mean, look, presumably all game design departments do much the same. You know, nobody, I would imagine, ever writes down a game spec in a Word document and pops out exactly the same game 3 months later. I just can't imagine that ever happens. Surely it has to be an evolution process for everyone. But, you know, that's the exciting part about making games, really, is that when everyone's throwing in their ideas and evolving things, and you're seeing new versions pop out, and then, like I say, you get to that one and you're like, yeah, this is the one.
Yeah. That's the good one. That's the feeling.
That's
you
the
want.
feeling you get. Yeah.
But we talked a lot about the math model and stuff like this. But like, okay, so realistically, so from a player perspective here, you hit the game and you have a nice session. So what can a player expect from this game in a session? Like, what will the player see realistically? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, so as I touched upon earlier, the maths is a bit volatile, and you know, again, it's the nature of the multi-max session. You know, once those multipliers start hitting those skulls up there, then it can go crazy, because the multipliers are you know, sort of hit one after the other. So so volatility is pretty high, but because of that, you know, you can get decent wins out of the base game here. You've got, particularly if you get the mystery symbols. The mystery cash goes all the way up to 50x, I think, is possible, and then that can be multiplied on top of that. Obviously, it's super rare to hit those sort of big numbers, but it's relatively common to you know, most of those mystery cash prizes are going to be, you know, stake or above, and like I say, you only need half a dozen of those dropping as mysteries, and with a multi-max or two up there, you tend to see more of that in the free spins. So the free spins is weighted to have a lot more mystery symbols dropping, as you would imagine, because you've really only got like 8 to 14, depending on how lucky your gamble was, spins in order to show a player, you know, we like, you know, it's a good feature. We want to get 1 or 2 of them in. And when they drop in free spins, you know, it's not uncommon to have sort of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mystery symbols coming in. But of course, free spins is where all the big wins are, because of those sticky multipliers along the top there. But like I say, not uncommon to get a nice big mystery symbol payout in the base game at all. So, you know, like I said, win caps at 15,000x. I think the average free spins payout is, if my memory serves me rightly, around 90. So, you know, the hit rate is relatively out there, but, you know, again, it's not uncommon for this genre. So, you know, you're probably talking, you know, up in the high 200s, maybe sort of best part of 300 for, I'm not going to give you the exact number, but best part of 300 for a free spin. But, you know, if you don't like that, turn on the bonus boost. So, you know,
Exactly.
so there's plenty of ways to get into that potential, depending on what your appetite for a gamble is, really.
Yeah, definitely. So the bonus boost, was that like sort of 50% increase in
50%
chance, so to say?
increase for
Yeah.
double your chance of free spins. And like I say, you know, as we touched upon earlier, when you got those sticky multi-max numbers, if you're lucky enough to gamble up to 14 free spins, then you're going to really see some returns there. But, you know,
Yeah, that's super cool. And then we also had the bonus buy there, which was shown in the in the gameplay as well, where you had the two options.
yeah, you can get straight into 14
yeah.
spins, or you can, you know, try your luck on the cheaper version and either take your 8 or still gamble if you want to.
So that's super cool. So yeah, looking forward to this release. I do believe it can very well be the strongest one from you guys yet. However, you've done some very, very successful games recently. So
well, it's going to have its work cut out beating Pharaoh's Gaze, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know,
that's
that one
gonna be very
absolutely
hard.
smashed it. So,
But
like,
that
but
game was
I'm feeling
absolutely.
good. I'm feeling good about it. So, you know, I'm hoping it's going to be even better than that one.
Yeah. So yeah, casinos, listen up. Did you like Pharaoh's Case? Did you see those numbers? Here is an even better one. I think that's some good closing words right there.
Fine,
So,
I'll leave you with those then, Alex.
Yeah, thank you so much for featuring here again, Frank. And I'm sure I will speak to you very,
I'll
very
catch you
shortly.
on the next one. Cheers, mate.
Have a good one.
Bye.